11:33, TSN 690. Welcome back to the show. It's Game Points with Matthew Ross. TSN Matthew on Twitter.com. I appreciate all of the feedback. I'm trying to get to all of it here as well. From Eric Heft on Twitter.com. Habs lose size and physicality in Cole. I hate when people say physicality. I don't think it's a word. I think it's just made up. As an English major, I'd like people to say physical presence, physical nature.
Converse.
Ruggedness, converse, yeah, that's another one. You use that a lot, Mokan. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Even I won't name names, but people say conversate. I'm like, what is that word?
All right. Can we get back to this?
Yes, right. Eric Heft.
Yeah, Eric Heft. But they gain production and offense from Ryder, equal value, IMO. Now, what is the... I always forget. I'm pretty good on the abbreviations. What is IMO again?
In my opinion.
In my opinion, yes.
That's what it is.
FY, in my opinion.
In my opinion. All right. Kicker is the third round and cap space. All right. Well, thank you very much. And rugged players, Haberfeed says Ryan Clough, Chris Stewart. No, Blues are not getting rid of Chris Stewart. That's for sure. Elsewhere, our lady guest a little later on. Talking about Lars Eller. One thing we forgot to mention about Lars Eller. Everyone's high on Lars Eller. She's absolutely right. He has a penchant for icing the puck for no reason. I like that. That's true. Potential free agents from Canadians fan 31. Perry, Getzlaff, Clough, Horton, Penner, Weiss, Filppula, Clarkson. Yeah, Dustin Penner. That's what I want. That's like Peter Popovich as a forward. Elsewhere here.
He's won 2 cups, though.
We got from THLOC11. What about Prust, Moen, White, and Armstrong? Size enough for you? We have guys that can play tough. All right, let's go through the list, all right? Brandon Prust, absolutely got no problem with him. He's not a huge guy. He's an undersized guy who plays big, who's getting worn out because he's trying to do the job of 3 or 4 rugged players that the Canadians don't have. Travis Moen, not playing well enough to be in the lineup every single night. That's the problem right there. Ryan White, discipline problems and not a big-sized guy. Big heart, but not a big-sized guy. Kobe Armstrong, I have no problem with him, but he's a 4th liner. I'm talking about guys who can play in the 3rd line, occasionally on the 2nd line. That's what I'm talking about. Game points here on TSN 690.
One thing to look at, though, and again, people fail to bring this up as you made the point, though. This is also a salary cap move, and to use the expression 1 year too early than 1 year too late, you wonder where Erik Cole's production will be in a year's time, given his age, given how much wear and tear he's taken on his body. And also, let's not forget that when he was in Edmonton, he wasn't comfortable playing in hockey in Canada because being far away from his family, of course, him being American. So with him going back to the States, he probably feels a lot more comfortable. And finally, there's no state tax in the state of Texas. Therefore, he'll make a lot more money on his income check than he would in Quebec.
Wow. That's pretty well thought out. Mokan, ladies and gentlemen.
Think about it, when he went to Edmonton, people said, wow, great trade, like when the Habs acquired Cole last July or 2 years ago. And then didn't pan out, kind of wore out his welcome, was disenchanted at times with the Oilers. Same thing with the Habs this year. Remember, he did not get off to a strong start like he did last year. Sort of became disenchanted.
You know, people are unbelievable in this city. This guy had 36 goals last year. 35?
Sure, 36? Yeah, no, I agree, for sure. But
what was he, a bench warmer last year?
But was
he
though,
on a last-place team, this guy was lighting it up regularly and tutoring Max Pacioretty. Now, all of a sudden, he's too old, he's terrible, he can't score. Let's get him the hell out of here. Let's bring in a guy who's not physical, who's a one-trick pony, and who won't stick up for his teammates. Yeah, that's what I want. That'll help. That'll help Gallagher. That'll help Gianta. That'll help Desjardins. That'll help the Canadians play big. That's good stuff.
As I told Jimmy, though, I said 2-3 weeks ago that Erik Cole has to start scoring goals. If he doesn't, you wonder where he'll be at this time. Well, now he's in the lovely state of Texas.
I don't believe you. Jimmy's going to have to back you up there.
This is accurate.
Thank you.
I need to hear the audio. I don't believe that.
Oh, we had a caller who said, don't worry, Erik Cole scoring game 25. I'm like, yeah, we don't need him game 25. You need him now to score goals.
Mo's looking at his phone. What do you got for me?
Well, I chatted with Dennis Bernstein, fourthperiod.com writer out in SoCal, and he stated clearly to me, Habs have $8.2 million available to sign 7 players for next year. Salary cap.
So they're worried about their cap for next year, and obviously, Marc Bergevin will sell it as a guy who needs, as Ryder is a guy who will finish goals now, who will help us now. You heard the clips there from the press conference. By the way, the complete press conference of Marc Bergevin will be played later on tonight in about an hour's time, so you can stay tuned for that. You can hear that right here on TSN 690. TSN Matthew on Twitter.com. This coming in from, all right, give me a second here. I don't want to screw up the name. From C. Theodorakakos. That's not bad. I did an okay job with that. Hey, Chris, physicality is a noun. All right. Thank you for clearing that up. And we need more physical presence up front and more leadership skills. Now, I just want to go back to what the callers were saying. And I understand that Erik Cole's not he's not Milan Lucic out there, but he is something. He is somewhat of a presence. And doesn't matter if he's not the most dominating physical presence in the world. He's better than anything the Canadians had other than maybe Pacioretty or, Prust. So from that perspective, you do lose something. Don't kid yourself.
Well, look, I look at this from this perspective with Michael Ryder being a short-term solution. Obviously, they want some more score punch on the power play, which Arpon Basu made the point on NHL.com with this article. And for the hindsight, the long-term goal here for the Habs is that are they being built to win a cup this year? Probably not. They're trying to look at it. Will we be competitive? If we make the playoffs, have a good run, great. But also we're building for the future of this club here, thus keeping our cap space open to maybe make a trade or two before April 3rd when the trade deadline occurs, and then come July 1, July 5th, whenever that free agency period begins, they could go out there, sign themselves a good forward to bring on board or keep that cap space for maybe next year. Mark Bergevin, again, is looking at this from a broader perspective, outside the box thinking here, rather than keep with the traditional norm of trying to do this and do that and trying to fix the short-term leaks rather than look at the long-term goal of the Habs.
So you like it overall?
I have no questions whatsoever or any issues with this trade. And if you look at Ryder's stats, though, he has 14 points this year. Last year, he had 63 points, I believe, which was one more than Erik Cole had last year as a Hab. And he can score goals. If you look at his time with the Habs the last 3 years, he scored prior to that awful year before he left for Boston. He had 30 goals, 25 goals. So he can definitely score goals when called upon here. And now with whether he puts Desharnais or whoever he's going to be with, Plekanec, whoever it is, I think he'll definitely will be an asset, especially for the power play, to help that to go to the next level if they want to be that contending team or be competitive for the playoff run.
Jimmy, you like the trade?
I think it was a good trade for the Canadians. They saved some money over the next 2 years. They'll have more money to spend in free agency in the summer.
All right. Stefano?
I don't have an issue with it because even if you do say that having Cole now on your team would be better, you probably would be regretting having Cole on your team for another 2 years at 4.5 and the cap going down and everything. And you have to think, how long can you see Cole playing at the level he played last year, or can you see him matching what he did last year? And I think it's just the numbers were just going to get smaller and smaller on his stat sheet, so better to do it now. And you also have to look at maybe you're re-signing PK Subban in the future. And with all this in mind, you want to keep all your young guys here, so I think it's a refreshing perspective to look a few years down the line.
And finally, Michael Ryder was a plus 14 last year with the Dallas Stars, so he's become a little bit better in his own end, which, of course, Michel Therrien likes to preach to his players to make sure you play well in your own end to generate or garner any opportunities on the other side of the rink here. So if Michael Ryder can buy into Michel Therrien's system, and we're seeing a much lighter, more, calm Michel Therrien this time around compared to 10 years ago. So this could definitely be a match made in heaven, provided both players, Michael Ryder, and the coach and Michel Therrien can understand each other's strengths and weaknesses and work around that.